everyone, thanks for joining. Just making this video to talk about crypto mining, my mining approach, things I kind of think about, and sort of why I do it really. The first question is, why would you really mine crypto? I think one reason is it's really actually a nice way to get into the crypto ecosystem, especially if you don't have a lot of crypto or you don't want to initially invest a lot. If you do happen to have a GPU, which is really the crux of the issue, you do kind of need one of these GPUs in order to be actually kind of profitable. But if you do have one, then it can be a really good way to actually get exposure to working with crypto and actually owning the crypto and the things. And when I talk about owning crypto, I mean the sort of the differentiation between places like Robinhood or custodial accounts where you don't actually have the crypto and you can do things like staking and actually controlling your own wallets, which is actually really helpful. And there's kind of two different ways that you can go about sort of mining. You can either do solo mining or pool mining. Basically, your computer tries to solve these puzzles, and you can either work with a team or work by yourself. So I think there's kind of benefits to doing both of these ways. I'm just going to kind of go over what I do and kind of what I've kind of worked with as just being the easiest and some extra income without actually really that much work for me. Things that I have, things because I already have this GPU. So some things to keep in mind is, yes, kind of speaking of when you start talking about actually mining crypto and kind of trying to generate some income from your GPU, one really important thing you want to keep in mind is what kind of GPU you have, how much crypto you're actually going to be able to get, because something like Bitcoin or Ethereum right now, the gas prices are pretty high, so you'd have to kind of mine a lot in order to get maybe not that much. And so if you do have a giant rig, you're probably not watching this video, but you have these giant mining farms, is that they're probably not as worried about that, and so they'll choose different coins. But if you are just a person with your GPU, chances are you're probably not going to want to pay these gas prices, and so trying to figure out how effective your GPU is kind of goes a long way. So which coins kind of justify the investment. And so the big thing here is really transaction fees, and so it's kind of this actually. I mean, it starts getting into your long term. What do you really think about crypto? So for me personally, I mean, for example, I just think about it as a really powerful technology. I'm not really sure which ones are going to end up winning out. I think it's very similar to the .com bubble. That there's a lot of coins that maybe don't have actually that much intrinsic value, but the technology is still very valuable and will be used to transform a lot of the ways that we interact with assets electronically, which is to say, I mean, just at all, interacting with these assets at all. And so really thinking about your sort of long-term thesis. So my approach is really just trying to get a decent amount of a lot of different cryptos, and hoping that, and with the knowledge, I mean, really assuming that a lot of them are going to end up being worthless or maybe not worth that much, and just having some exposure. And so this kind of also goes into, I don't really feel that comfortable into putting USD or cash into it. But if I can mine, I could just sort of generate some crypto earnings and crypto holdings without actually having to spend my money directly. But you do spend some money, so it actually is not entirely free, right? You do have these electricity costs. So for me, it kind of depends on what your sort of setup is. So you want to look at your power supply unit on your computer or your GPU or whatever you're using to draw power. You can kind of do some back of the envelope calculations based on how expensive your electricity is. For me, it's around anywhere from 5 to maybe 15 to 20% at the max of my total crypto revenue. At least that's historic. So I mean, it can also change based on electricity cost or crypto prices, hash rates, and all that stuff. So it's just something to keep in mind. It's not necessarily free, right? Even though I'm saying that you don't have to necessarily put cash into doing it. And then finally, just think about your other crypto holdings. So for example, I have other Ethereum and other sort of crypto holdings that I actually believe in these sort of as long-term values, but I don't necessarily want to mine them because I already have exposure to them. So when I think about what I'm actually trying to do with mining, I'm trying to get low transaction fees, and that's the big one because I essentially just want to be able to be sure I actually have in control of my own crypto, and I can generate something that I can use for later down the line. All right, so the first coin that we're going to talk about here is Monero, and so I'm currently mining this one. Pretty much for the primary main reason is that the mining pool I use, pro hashing, which I'll go into a little bit more in a second, is really efficient. But I also think it's the very low transaction fees. You can get under $1. You can mine it with this hashing service, and be able to actually get that without any fees. So it's a good way to start, even if you don't have the best GPU. You can at least get some crypto, even just to have and practice and kind of get exposure to owning your own wallets, getting comfortable with that. And so we'll talk. First thing you do need is a wallet. So you'll need to go to this website, look for the official Monero website. Essentially, you're going to download this app, a blockchain, and the file can be pretty big. I'm not exactly sure how big it is. There is an abbreviated version, and this is kind of. I'm going into really the detail. If you really want to have control of your own wallet, which is kind of something that I do. So if the reason I'm kind of showing you this is you can be sure that you're actually controlling this, as opposed to they have like wallet managers and stuff, but that might be fallible security issues. But basically, the idea is that you're going to want to eventually you're going to make your wallet. So that's the first thing you need to actually start mining is you need to actually make the wallet of the crypto that you're actually going to mine, or all of the cryptos that you're going to mine in this case. And so you can just do this by downloading blockchain. Essentially, this will come up something like this. You'll get some desktop app, and you can you'll register as part of this blockchain. You'll be able to get your public address here, and so this will come up, and you can actually copy this. And then once you actually go into your mining pool, you'll have to actually show how to set that up. And so we'll actually kind of go into that now. So the mining pool I do use is actually called pro hashing, and so this is. I don't actually have any relationship with pro hashing. All I can say is that they've been very fair to me and transparent, and I've had a very good experience with them. The services as offered, I can't promise that they'll continue to do that. They are offering a referral, so if you do use this website in order to start mining, go ahead and click the link below to actually do that and get started and get registered, and that would really help me out. You could also drop a like and subscribe if you don't learn anything, of course. But this is a really, I really like this guide. It was really easy to use and get started. So let's go ahead and take a look at getting started with this pro hashing service. So this is the GPU quick start, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I think the steps are pretty easy to understand. But basically, the idea is you're gonna use this ETH miner, and this is the kind of cool part about why it's kind of helpful to do the pooled mining versus the solo mining. So if you're doing a solo mining, you can't really mine things that aren't mineable. So like you can't, Monero is actually not GPU mineable, but you can get it through this pro hashing service. Essentially, you're actually just mining Ethereum, but you're choosing your payouts in different allocations. This is actually really nice for an investment perspective. If you have a couple of coins, and you're not entirely spread, you don't want to put all of your mining efforts into one basket. Mining pool is a great way to actually distribute that. So we're going to look at the other coins that I actually use. But essentially, you set this up the same way. You just need to set this up once. So with your GPU, you're going to get a script that's going to look like this. This ETH hash, so that's the algorithm that you're going to use for having a GPU. This is a pro hashing. This is saying that this is the mining server you're using. You're going to make an account on this prohashing.com. That's going to have your username. You're going to pass the number of nodes that you have. So that's essentially how many gigabytes your GPU has. And so just essentially I have a 24 gig 3090 NVIDIA GPU, which is actually really nice for mining. And so you kind of work with whatever video memory that you have in your graphics card here. And then once you run this, you should be able to just actually double click this on your desktop essentially. And I'm not doing this. This is actually not the computer I use. I have my other computer that I actually use to mine. This is kind of my media computer. But you can see that you'll start running and you'll be able to actually generate this payout. So that's actually how you start using it. And you can use. I think this tutorial is really great. But let's talk a little bit more about what specific coins I'm looking into using right now. So we already talked about Monero, and I already kind of a strong advocate of it. It has a low transaction fee. Again, these could every single one of these could go down at any second. This isn't investment advice. These are literally just my justification of why I'm choosing to pursue these efforts. You should think about your own situation, your own holdings, and all of that before deciding which ones to use. But the key here, you'll notice, really the main thing is that there's a low transaction fee. Tezos is the next one. A lot of NFTs are starting to use this one. I think that it has like favorable features for mining, lower transaction fee. I do have some Tezos already that I'm also looking to supplement. So this is just more of me working with my existing investment. Again, this is kind of the part I like doing about this pooled hashing versus solo hashing, kind of going on your own self. You can kind of take an investment approach to it and not necessarily just more of a risk. Although, again, every single thing is risk and speculation, essentially. So Ethereum Classic, I kind of do like this play because I feel that there's a relative valuation attached to ETC that's not reflected. And I think that when you think about just the origin of the fork and sort of any kind of relative valuation compared to Ethereum, it's very helpful. And also, again, pays out low transaction fees. And Binance Coin, finally, this is, I think, the last one. I actually kind of chose this one because I didn't really have any other holdings of it, just wanted some of it. So mining, again, is really helpful. I don't know how much Binance I actually want right now. I might only get just a tiny little bit and just hold it for later. I might end up getting more. But mining is a way that I don't have to choose to buy a lot of it or pay a big transaction fee if I just want a tiny bit of a given crypto. So right now, this is something that I'm looking at just to expand my own portfolio. Similar sort of thing to Cardano. This is actually one of the most popular ones as well. And so essentially, what you'll see is that the main thing is that there's low transaction fees. The idea is that I'm sort of splitting it. What I do is I sort of say right now anyway, I'm setting 20% of each of these. And I really like this feature on pro hashing. It's pretty kind of nice. I think other pooled websites will let you do this as well. But basically, the idea is here we can allocate. We can have this kind of smartly adjust. So every day it'll reset, and I'll try to get ideally close to 20%. That way I can mine more of what's down that day and maybe mine less of what's up that day. And so using all those, able to kind of generate a little bit of extra revenue at least. And so I hope you learned something. Smash that like, comment, subscribe, of course, and let me know if you like this video or don't like this video or want me to see do anything else.